I'm Alex.
And I'm Mark, and you're watching Vagabrothers.
Right now we're in Scotland, the land of whiskey, bagpipes, sea monsters, and men in skirts. Right?
Well, not quite. It's actually much more than that.
It's a land of ancient cultures, traditions, and languages.
And right now, the question of cultural identity is on the forefront of many people's minds, because next year, Scotland will vote on whether to become an independent country.
So we want to know what makes Scottish people so Scottish, and how they're different from the rest of the blokes in the UK.
To do that, we're going to travel across the country, talking to the people who live here, and having as much fun as we can along the way.
So trust us, you are in for one hell of an adventure.
Vagabrothers, New Year's resolution. Must be charged more.
We arrived in Scotland with tons of questions, and not just the usual ones like where to eat, sleep, or party. Big questions about culture and identity, and how both are changing today. How do we define culture? Is it shared history, languages, or traditions? Or could it be as simple as being proud of where you're from? Like many travelers, we arrived in Glasgow with a vision of Scotland colored by cliches and misconceptions.
But we knew the basics, that Great Britain was made up of England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and Scotland. But we were curious why Scotland, like so many other European regions, was pushing for independence. Was it pure politics? Or was it more than that? Maybe, in this ever-shrinking world, there's a growing need to preserve the cultural differences that make each corner of the earth unique and travel so interesting. But how to begin to answer such big questions? We had to start somewhere, so we started by asking people on the streets of Glasgow.
What makes you feel Scottish? What is it to you to be Scottish?
I don't know, I enjoy living here. I'd say Scotland's the friendliest people. No Edinburgh, but Glasgow.
But do you feel that your country is Scotland or England?
Always Scotland.
Yeah,
Always
Scotland.
It's not the same.
Are you going to vote in 2014?
Yes.
Which way?
Freedom.
Don't know.
Scotland.
No. You say yes, you say no? Yes?
I'm kind of on the fence. I think right now I would vote yes. But I'm not like completely convinced. Yeah.
Would you vote?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, I don't really care. That's the problem.
Really?
For my age, yeah.
And in 2014, are you going to vote?
Yeah.
Which way?
No.
There it is. Cheers.
Cheers.
As luck would have it, we came across a member of Scotland's pro-independence party who invited us back to his office for a chat.
So we're in the headquarters of Yes Scotland, which is the pro-independence party for the upcoming 2014 referendum. I've said yes to a cup of tea, and we're just waiting to speak to one of the spokespeople for the movement and find out a little bit more about Scotland's ambitions for 2014.
So we asked him, politics aside, what was the cultural basis of the independence movement?
Scotland's one of Europe's oldest nations. We were an independent country for 3/4 of our history. 300 years ago we decided to partner up with England to form Great Britain, and the referendum in 2 years' time is essentially whether we want to continue with that partnership or not. Independence is about taking responsibility. It's not about identity. It's not about being able to trace your roots back 20 generations in Scotland. Somebody that comes to Scotland and lives in Scotland is a Scot, as far as I'm concerned. So Scotland and England, we're brothers and sisters, we're cousins. But the one great thing that America has is an understanding of independence. So Scotland's actually just trying to follow in America's footsteps. We want to have our own Independence Day and become our own country.
After our chance encounter with Yes Scotland, we tried to contact the pro-union party, Better Together, to hear both sides. Their offices were closed for the holidays, so we decided it was best to leave politics aside, go for a quick pint, and answer our questions through travel.
I'm super stoked right now. because we're finally getting out of the city and just really going for this adventure. We have no idea where we're going to end up, who we're going to meet, what we're going to see, and I'm just really, really anxious and excited to get moving and to hit the road, because the adventure is out there, you know? So if culture is based on shared history, then what better place to start our journey than Stirling, the scene of one of Scotland's most legendary stories, the story of William Wallace.
We are now approaching Croy.
So if you've seen Braveheart, then you know who William Wallace is, the 13th century freedom fighter who battled the English for Scotland's independence. Now he wasn't 7 feet tall, and he definitely didn't shoot lightning bolts out of his arse, but he did battle the British for control of this castle, Stirling Castle, which in those days was key to controlling all of Scotland.
William Wallace gave his life for Scotland, but like so many figures in Scottish history, his story has been blended with myth. Still, a lot of Scots look back fondly on the 300 years of independence that he helped usher in. But we had to ask ourselves, just what does William Wallace mean today? And what does William Wallace mean to you guys then?
I suppose, well, he's a hero really, isn't he?
Yeah,
But
it's like dramatised as well. If it wasn't for like some Mel Gibson or that, I mean, probably wouldn't be as big an influence as it is.
Yeah.
And it's quite a big part of the history here, but I wouldn't say it like impacts my life that much on a daily basis. It is just kind of history a long time ago. Although, I mean, I'd say a lot of people here are pretty proud of William Wallace.
And what does William Wallace mean to you guys then?
When we were young and brought up, he was a hero. He was a hero who won the Battle of Bannockburn for us against the English. It's genuine, real history, right enough. He did win that, it's not just a myth.
Is he becoming more popular now?
Oh yes,
it raises emotions in certain people when you watch
Likes the Braveheart, likes to watch Braveheart. And you could have went out the next morning and any English person you met, you could have punched their lumps and like, and that was the view that you got. Everybody felt that way, and which wasn't right, but that was just the impression you got, again, because of the film.
What makes you feel Scottish?
Scottish. Oh, we're proud to go every part of Scotland. We don't go holidays anywhere else, bar Scotland. But there's a lot of people in Scotland that they've not even been up the hills up there. I've never been to the Trossachs. I've never seen any of the sights and scenery that's about you. They just don't. Not interested.
But we were interested, so we took the old man's advice and decided to use our time in Scotland to get as lost as possible. Tensions ran high as the clock struck midnight and the locals prepared to light their balls on fire and swing them down the middle of a narrow street. You're gonna do fine.
I'm so nervous. I think I want to cry.
That's the tamborrada.
In a few hours, the streets will be packed with people dressed in bizarre costumes for the biggest party of the year.
But hey, it hasn't always been a party.
You're right, it actually has its roots in the city's darkest days when Sansa